I brought a more comfortable chair from my home studio because I felt it'd be a lot better than that metal chair that we have. Scott is setting up. He already did an abstract painting on this. So he's excited about working on abstracts, you know, to have something underneath. And we have our little phone camera up there. And I have this video camera on me, and then he has that camera. We brought in an extra light, just in case. I am going to start off with just probably using like a light gray pastel pencil, or maybe one of these. These are Conte Paris, or I guess that might be New Pastel. Yep, just grays. And then I also have this pan pastel white. And I just have this up here to focus. And I'm just gonna start off with a drawing. This is my view. Pretty simple. Oh, we also brought sandbags because this does have locks, but it just tiniest bit, you know, just wobbles a little bit, and you don't want that, especially for filming. So we brought sandbags to make it very sturdy.
Cool.
Behind the scenes. So you were charging that battery?
I did. I'm gonna have it plugged in too.
Yeah, yeah.
It's nice to have that. If you ever have power interrupted, it won't stop the video.
Right, because video cameras, if we turn these video cameras on and off, they reset to the they reset everything. So you have to go back in and redo autofocus, redo you know, all that lighting and focus and stuff. And I've been caught before. So we still have to figure out what the model is going to wear. And we're going to turn off all these lights just because we don't want anything. Remember, you guys, if you're posing models, this particular light does not hit the model because of this board. But you can't have secondary lights that might create shadow bounce, but also secondary highlights in the eyes. So I do have these, but I have this sort of, you know, buffer there. So we'll make sure that we don't have any secondary lights.
Do one where you're kind of holding it, like maybe on both sides, like something like kind of like this, where you have your hands kind of out, you know, yeah, and yeah, just lower it down. That's cool. Now do one.
I'm very happy that it comes with a white palette, and these things are magnetic, so these come off and you can store them on top. You know, everything is just no things you have to twist or turn. I just also like how thin it is. Anyway, Scott got, because he was a finalist for the Portrait Society this year, he got a gift certificate to New Wave, and he's gotten gift certificates from them in the past for winning awards and stuff, and I've always used them, and I have like those big white palettes, those like 16 by 20 that I use in my studio, and I literally have 3 of them in a row now. So I have a very long table, if anyone's seen my other videos, and I have like white palette after white palette, so I can store different colors, and I can work on different mixtures. Anyways, I'm very excited because Scott and I are going to England this summer, and this is what I'm going to be taking. So, you know, you store these things on here, and you put the rubber band around, and or maybe you could even do it like this and put the rubber band around it that way, and these come off. But I just love how thin they are and how lightweight it is. So this will be what I'll be taking on our trip overseas. I thought I'd be transparent and show you the dishevelment of my studio. I have finally just decided, yeah, I've always hid stuff back here. So I had this shelving. I mean, just junk, right? And once you put it behind a curtain, once you put it behind a door, it's like, it just takes on a life of its own. And I have junk behind there I have to get rid of. Anyways, I have decided to get rid of like 80% of what's in here. Yep, 80%. I was telling Scott that it took me 3.5 years. I've been in this studio for 3.5 years to just little by little bring this crap in here, right? And I'm trying to take it all out within like a few days, but it's worse. It's just hard. And I'm actually rented this studio for 3 months. It's a tiny little studio, but I rented this studio to be like a closet. Oh God. Anyway, so everything, I mean, most everything is going in there or being donated or given away or thrown out. And I'm going to make a space so that I can just have models. And because you saw that sawtooth place, well, that's stopped. Oh my God, what am I gonna do with all these brushes? I just keep buying brushes, but these are just brushes that, and I have brushes at home too. Anyways, I mean, I'll keep this table. I just don't know if it's gonna stay right there. I don't know if that's good feng shui. It's not good to have, like, you really should be facing a door. Oh, I'm getting rid of this. I mean, I'm getting rid of a lot of stuff. So, just thought I don't need all this fabric. Like, what is this? You know, I was looking at this thing and I guess it's a tablecloth, right? I think I bought this in Mexico, in San Miguel. I think, why did I? For some godforsaken reason. You know, you look at things you buy over your lifespan and then you question all your choices. Scott's gonna help me today. Yay. Scott is putting wheels on the bottom of my pastel thing that he built me before. We're trying to fit it behind there. And I'm already pooped and it's probably only 11:30 in the morning. So I'm just gonna sit and watch. I am a complete useless. I am a useless person. I have too many art supplies and I hate myself. So Scott made this so that he could put the wheels on it, and the wheels would have something to screw into, because who knows what this stuff is made out of. It's like a particle board, right?
This here, yeah, this is like masonite.
No, I mean the gray stuff.
Oh, the gray stuff.
Yeah, you wouldn't have been able to like screw in a big thing of wheels.
Well, yeah, it would be.
So you made this and brought this,
and
so
I
that
had it go a little bit over the edge so that the wheels will be a little wider, so that will have.
Yeah, and make sure that when you guys put wheels on anything, just always go bigger than you think. We put wheels on things that are too small, and it's no fun. I put ivory black and ultramarine blue deep, and I just toned an old canvas, so something that I had painted before and had washed off, and so there's some, you see how there's some kind of excess stuff. And this is the first time I'm using my Yugo. I've laid out ivory black, ultramarine blue deep, and viridian and titanium white. So before I start, I just wanted to mix a couple convenient generic values. The model isn't here yet, but I thought I would just have these, so just a basic light and a basic sort of halfway range. I think since I toned my canvas with a little bit of ivory black and a little bit of ultramarine blue, just to tone this old canvas that I had washed down. And this is a, I think it's an L600, one of those expensive canvases that are put on that board. And you know, these are the type of things that I don't want to throw out. I can always use again. Scott's gonna be painting next to me, and I'll show you, you know, his progress too with like pop through shots. I'm working on my new Yugo. So we'll see how it goes. I love how lightweight it is. I'm still determining if this particular thing holds the canvases well enough. We will see, but I really like working on a white palette. So also just notice how that's where the model is, and I might have to lower this a little bit, but I would love to have his head like right here. So that way I can look up and down, up and down. I don't like looking over a shoulder and twisting that way. So if I can have the model be right directly above my canvas, I would like that. I think I'm just gonna work in blues and greens today. I'm kind of on that kick. So I think my shadows are gonna be predominantly Viridian Green, which is a warm, and my lights will be predominantly more ultramarine blue. So as I go more into the shadows, I'll be adding more green, and as I go into the lights, I'll be adding more blue. These are my brushes. You know, I chose smaller brushes, so I like things with like crisper angles, especially when I'm painting small, you know, little angled brushes. So this is a Rosemary Eclipse angled 3/8 inch. This is a Pure Sable Series 81, and just miscellaneous brushes. Some of these bigger ones are just to kind of block in. This is a classic Filbert size 4. And I love these ivory daggers. Scott and I are completely into these. So we'll see if I need to get even smaller brushes, but to paint sculptural, I feel like I need these sort of flatter brushes. And let's go look and see what Scott's doing. Scott has his poise over here, and he lays out a lot of paint. And I just want you to see how much paint he lays out. And these are his convenient grays that he always uses. And I think that's out of the tube. These look out of the tube, but that looks like a gray mixture and a gray mixture. He already has an abstract canvas that he's going to work on. And this is one of those Centurion panels, 14 by 18. We're just waiting for the model. Our awesome model, Olando. using such a tiny little brush.
Yeah, I'm kind of sketching with it. Using it as like almost like a pencil.
That's what it sounds like.
What's that?
It sounds like a pencil.
Yeah, kind of scratching it in there.
It's like those brushes disintegrate fast when he scrubs them so much.
I was just thinking it was because of the whole time.
Yeah.
You can hear it.
But then he said paint, so I was like, oh, it's
Yeah, I'm just kind of using it like that.
I wanted to show you the progress on my studio. So Scott and I, the other day, I don't know if you remember, but I actually had sheets stapled up there. I mean, it's so cheap. I think I just did not want to paint another studio in this building. But finally, since I'm starting to invite people into the studio to do model sessions, I thought, okay, I'm gonna finally paint this wall. And anyway, so did that. We put up this light just in case when we have models, people who are standing back here can still have light. Also, I like having as much light in the studio as possible because it is an enclosed basement. I do have my desk over here. It is not optimal. Oh, we also put a little plant above me. I'm trying to do feng shui. I might put that round mirror right there. But I don't like my back to the doors. Remember, like it's not good. But I also feel like if I'm gonna do online or Zooms or webinars or anything, it actually is nice to see my studio behind me. It's just better than just to have my, back up against a wall or something. So I have decided to do that. And I have cleared out a lot of stuff. I'm gonna still have to figure out this corner because that's not optimal. Will I have to move this giant thing out into the hall every time I have a model? That might be something I have to do. I don't know. I have to get my short little model stand that is collapsible from another place. And I have 15 people coming, plus Scott and me. So I really have to clear out, you know, and, you know, I mean, we'll be able to fit, but yeah, it will be curious. I will let you know how it goes. This is one of the paintings that I just finished, and I did it on one of those wood cradle. I think I showed you in a video how I had used the oil primer. And so a lady bought this, and so I let it dry and we varnished it. And now I'm using just regular acrylic. So I used some of this primary blue and just a little bit of black just to darken it so that it had that same blue, but like, you know, against a wall, it wouldn't really stand out, because I thought just pure black would be too much. So putting it on these acrylic, you know, little jars, using a roller and just going like this. And then we're going to put 2 coats. So I thought I'd just show you. This is how I would love, and Scott, we would love to do this more with our canvases, using the gallery wrap or just these actual wood cradles. Is that what? Yeah, I'd shown them in another video. These things are wonderful, and then you can just put wires on the inside and people can hang them right up on their wall. Scott loves to use extra paint, so you see him doing a lot of paintings on top of abstractions. And this is the color that I used on the sides of my wood panel. And so, you know, you have to clean off these rollers anyways. And instead of just throwing out rollers constantly, he is just going to use the rest of this acrylic up so that it makes it easier to clean up everything. And we just, Scott, show what we used as a palette. So instead of using something like a paper plate, we needed something that we could easily roll. So just using a cheap plexiglass.
This comes from the...
This comes with those frames that you can get from like Jerry's, those, yeah.
Sorry, it's the
And we've used those for our monotype prints too. They're just easy to clean up.
Yeah.
And a nice flat surface to like use a roller or a brayer.
I toned this with acrylic so I can put this on here like
Oh,
this.
look at you being so crafty. Like it's like a tattoo transfer. It's a pretty color though. So it's almost like we're
Making a mono print or something.
yeah.
It's like I hate wasting paint.
Sure, why not? Yeah.
So
It's
yeah, so you just got to get your little bit of layers, and you can use this.
and this is one of those oh, just cheap, the gallery. Oh, somebody stretched this. Oh,
This was from Avon.
we got this from a friend who had stretched this, and it's like one of that extremely cheap, like Frederick's canvas, cotton canvas.
But it is gallery wrap, so you
Yeah,
can
yeah.
just paint the side.
Meaning, but it was hand done. It wasn't from an actual store.
What I do is I can either do this on
With a hose. Or...
well, I can first I'll put it in here to get rid of some of the paint on top of it. So like before you had the roller, I'll just put some water in here.
Oh,
and
okay.
then I'm just using a scrap piece of paper.
And you never know, that might be kind of...
Well, and I've used some of these, like that one I just sent to Maxwell Alexander, stir it out like this.
Right.
It's just
Scott,
a piece
but maybe you should do
sketch
this on
paper.
paper that's already adhered to a board, because
Well,
it
no,
will
that's what I did with
Oh,
the
you
other
like
one.
the bumpiness?
Is I just then adhered it to the wood, and then I...
You're talking about that one right there.
Gessoed it. Yeah, that's how this started. This is the paper here, okay? And this stuff was just rubbing off paint.
And was it
with the
bubbly when
roller
you
and
adhered
stuff.
it?
You can still see it's got like some creases in it because I folded it and had it go on both sides.
Like a butterfly
And I
effect?
don't mind those folds.
And then you just put it on one of those wood birch panels that you can get from like, you know, those like plein air painting
Then
places.
once I sealed it, then I can paint on oil over top of it. So I added...
How did you seal it?
I sealed it with clear gesso.
Okay.
So because this was acrylic,
And how did you seal the paper to the board?
clear gesso. So I put clear gesso on the board and then on the front and back of the paper, and then I put the paper down, and then I used the roller, the brayer, and I flatten it all out, and so that it all the gesso soaks into the paper and it seals it thoroughly, and then you can paint on top of it in oil. So like this part here is painted with paint. I just continued this pattern that was on there and continued it over that way.
So you played with the abstraction that was already on the paper,
Right.
and then just sort of decided to do this kind of like muka.
I just decided to add the face in here. I added some of this color down here to continue it to the sides, but you can see where the paper ends here too. And
Oh,
I just,
I didn't even notice
it's
that.
on both sides. It wasn't exactly that
Oh.
size. So I love the fact
I
that.
did not even notice that
Yeah.
the actual paper is smaller than the
So,
board.
yeah. But look at how cool that's looking with just that little bit of a tone over the top of whatever I
Sure.
had. And I got different
Oh
papers.
my gosh, you're getting so crafty.
I've got different papers here that I've used as these things, and
Yeah.
I'll use them then as. But these will become really interesting abstracts. And
Yeah,
then if
no,
I
you've
have
been
one I
doing
want,
that a lot with
I
your
do that, yeah.
canvases, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Just wanted to show you guys that.
And I can do the same on this, where I can add a little water to this, and I can go over things too. And it'll be more like a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, and so it's coming off of this, and they're slowly cleaning this brush off then, and you know, kind of just playing with the textures. If I don't like it
Right.
while it's wet, I can just wash it off.
Well, yeah, this is acrylic, so you can just keep layering and layering and
I
layering.
mean, if I don't like this, I could just take a paper towel with water, and I could wash this stuff off and say I liked it better before I put this little tone on.
Right, right.
So yeah, but it's kind of cool to do this layers, and I'll do it with thick paint, I'll do it with thin paint. And then this is one I'm going to do a big painting on.
Mm-hmm.
And
I like those pinks at the bottom.
Yeah.
I thought I'd show you a little bit of what I've been doing this summer. Unfortunately, these flowers bloomed already and are gone. These are, I just watered them, so they got a little bit, you know, down. But these were just from seed, so these are wildflowers. I bought that. And if you guys saw my video from last year, you'll realize what a total just disaster last year was. These are basil, parsley, cilantro, dill. These were lettuce from a seed, which is amazing. And then I bought these things because last year I thought I was going to do a lot of stuff in those like soft bags, and let me tell you, it just didn't work. Well, these were some tomato plants that a friend of ours gave us, and we put them in just those white buckets, and Scott drilled holes at the bottom. And then I bought these. These are, you know, those metal containers. And then I read somewhere that putting this lantana and marigolds next to tomatoes and peppers really helps with bugs or something. So I'm still learning. Ooh, I have a pepper that is like open. Yuck. But look at how tall this lettuce is. So I don't even know what this is. I wonder if this is spinach. I'm not sure. So that's Roma tomato. Anyways, I just thought I would show you because last year I wanted to start doing a garden, and I just, first of all, I started extremely late. These are those soft bags, and they're working a little bit. And I'm starting to, oh, these are 2 blueberry bushes. And I'm starting to kind of lay down that black kind of industrial stuff to make it so the weeds don't come up. And little by little, I have way too big a yard for someone like me who doesn't really want to work. But I remember last year, it was so sad. I just had this like desire to have a garden pretty much in August. And I didn't really know what I was doing, but these things I highly recommend, and I got them on sale. Like I think I got 2 for a really great deal, and these are the same ones that I got. I'll try and find the name. You can buy these at Walmart, but I even got them cheaper online. So they're perfect for like raised beds and hopefully indestructible. Better luck. I'm hoping to have better luck this year. I'm also trying this. If you guys ever get like romaine lettuce, I guess once you eat it, if you put it in water, then it will actually start to grow again. And then probably I could put this in some dirt. Maybe I can find a spot in one of those beds. But I just find it fascinating. I mean, it doesn't even like have like little, you know, little leggy things coming down. What are those things called? Anyways, they don't have them coming down, but they still grow. Roots, that's what it's called. They don't have roots coming down, but they still grow. It's amazing. I don't know, I'm really getting into nature, I guess. That's what summer does to you. And I love making salad dressing out of like the basil and the parsley, dill, all that stuff. You can make really good salad dressing out of it. Thank you so much for watching my YouTube videos. I love it when people write me about them, and I have fun doing them, so I'm so glad that people are enjoying them. Please subscribe and follow me and Scott on our Instagram pages, our website, and also on our patreon.com/Susan Lyon.